Hi, I'm Jeff from New York. Please like and subscribe.
Episode 72, The Beginning of the Shining Star. Jeff didn't know what Teresa Walters and the others were thinking. He and Lelaine West were still living a sweet life together. After a week of intense classes, Lelaine finally caught up with her learning and had some free time to spend with Jeff. Their schedules were both open after the first morning class, so Jeff asked Lelaine to meet him. They went for a walk down the commercial street outside the university campus.
I gave your mother another week of rest at the Secret Garden guest house. She rarely comes to New York, so why not let her visit the city more?
Jeff said as he held Lelaine's hand as they walked along the street, his heart filled with happiness as he looked at her beautiful face while she licked her ice cream cone.
I haven't seen her for a few days. Why is she wandering around the city alone?
Lelaine asked with a trace of worry on her face. It wasn't that she didn't want to spend time with her mother, it was that her mother had told her to study hard. Isabel West didn't want her daughter to slack off with her studies because of her visit.
It's all right. I've already asked Kyle Sanchez to send someone to accompany her for a stroll. You can rest easy,
reassured Jeff.
You still have a way of doing things,
Lelaine said. She felt comforted knowing that Jeff had taken care of things and had sent someone to help.
It's so hot,
Jeff exclaimed as he looked at her in her too long braids. He couldn't get tired of looking at her. He playfully said,
Can I have a bite of your ice cream?
I'll give you some,
she said as Jeff stared. She felt embarrassed as he looked at her so intently, but she also really enjoyed it. She held the cone up to him.
Yum,
Jeff said with a smile while slowly opening his mouth. As she held the cone, she saw that he started to eat all of it. Lelaine became surprised and angry. He only left the bottom of the cone in her hand. He looked at her with a naughty smile as he chewed happily.
Jeff,
she exclaimed as she grabbed his arm and said,
you should have left some for me. You're so annoying.
Ouch, Lelaine, let go,
Jeff said in a flustered manner. She let go of him after some playful struggle.
It was just a mouthful. You said it was okay.
Jeff rubbed his arm and continued talking with her.
You.
Lelaine looked at him, feeling playfully annoyed. He quickly admitted his wrongdoing, softly hugged her and said,
I was wrong. I was just messing around with you. Please don't be angry. All right. I'll buy you 2 ice cream cones next time. 3 cones. 4. Will that do?
Lelaine was so amused by him that she couldn't help but laugh. Jeff finally let out a sigh of relief and took the opportunity to hold her in his arms and give her a big hug. Although she was small, he could still feel her weight in his arms taking notice of her body.
All right. Let go of me,
Lelaine said softly. He looked at her and noticed that her gaze was directed behind him. Jeff let go of her and turned to look. He saw a well-proportioned, short-haired beauty staring at the two of them. However, when Jeff looked at the girl with short hair, she was also startled and quickly turned her gaze elsewhere. He turned his head in bewilderment as he met Lelaine's gaze, which was full of suspicion. The beautiful woman once again directed her gaze toward Jeff and Lelaine and carefully observed them.
Who is she?
Lelaine asked in a jealous tone.
I don't know,
Jeff said and shrugged. It was the first time he saw this woman, but he was happy to see that Lelaine was jealous of her.
Then why did she keep looking at you?
Lelaine pouted and said.
She is still watching.
Jeff turned his head and surprised the woman again. She turned back around. When Jeff turned back to Lelaine, the woman turned again and looked at him with a serious expression.
Maybe it's because I'm so handsome,
Jeff said to Lelaine with a wry smile. Lelaine rolled her eyes at him and said,
What do you think of her?
Jeff was stunned for a moment before he smiled. Lelaine felt a sense of looming crisis. He slowly made an evil smile, leaned closer toward Lelaine, and said,
Do you care a lot about me?
Who cares about you? Do you like her or not?
Lelaine said shyly and anxiously.
If you think she's better than me, then go with her. I'm leaving.
With that, Lelaine started to get ready to go away. Jeff was shocked and did not dare to play around with her anymore, as it might create a problem.
How can she compare to you?
Jeff grabbed Lelaine's small hand and said in a serious tone.
In my heart, you are more important than anyone else.
Really?
Lelaine lowered her head and asked in a soft, low voice. She felt a bit of warmth in her heart.
Of course, it's true. Didn't you ask me what I thought of her? In my eyes, you're 100 times more beautiful than she is, even when you crinkle up your nose.
Damn it. When do I crinkle my nose?
Lelaine playfully punched Jeff and giggled. She looked at him with her bright eyes and said,
Your words sound so good, but who knows what you're really thinking?
Hey, so you still won't believe me, right? I'll prove it to you right now.
Jeff said, turning around and walking toward the short-haired woman.
Jeff, come back.
Lelaine called him anxiously. How could she not believe him? It was just a joke, but that short-haired woman looked like she was secretly in love with him. Jeff didn't turn around when he heard Lelaine calling him. He kept walking toward the woman. Seeing Jeff walk toward her, the woman panicked. She looks left and right, but she was at a loss for what to do. After Jeff walked up to her side, she had no choice but to quickly turn around to avoid an awkward situation. Seeing her flustered expression, Jeff felt quite helpless.
I didn't expect that after just a single glance, she would be so sensitive. She won't even dare look at me. She must have been secretly observing me for a long time, right?
He thought, sighing.
It's all because we met at the wrong time. If Lelaine and I weren't together, we might have had a chance. But now that I'm with Lelaine, I won't even sneak a peek at a supermodel.
Nearby, a group of boys saw the scene and started to talk among themselves.
Damn, this beauty can't be that bad, right? But she's fallen for that damn loser,
said one boy.
I'm also stronger than him. How come I don't have that kind of luck?
Said another boy.
Beautiful girl, your family must be pretty good too. How come you're so blind?
Said another. When the surrounding boys saw Jeff standing in front of the beautiful woman, they felt agitated that they didn't receive her attention. He had to explain this to the girl as soon as possible before things got complicated.
I don't know your name right now. I'm sorry, but I have to tell you about this. I already have a girlfriend, so I can't date other girls anymore. I hope you can stop at that.
When Jeff finished getting the words out, he felt that what he had said was reasonable. But the short-haired woman didn't move at all.
It can't be that she still doesn't want to let go after I've explained it so clearly, right?
He thought.
Young lady.
Jeff started to say as he reached out his hand. Wanting to turn the woman to face toward him, she unexpectedly exploded like a cat whose tail had been stepped on.
Let go. What are you doing?
The woman pushed Jeff's hand away and glared at him in disgust.
I wanted to tell you that it's impossible between us,
he said with a shock as she was very beautiful. She had a small face with big dark eyes and she wore nice clothes.
What are you talking about? Are you crazy? Why are you saying so many weird things to me? Who are you? Who likes you?
She said, looking at Jeff.
You were looking at me just now,
he said, feeling very awkward and stunned. His face turned red.
I was looking at you? Yeah, you sure are interesting.
She laughed at him and shook her head. She pushed him away and walked toward Lelaine.
Wasn't she looking at me?
He asked himself. Jeff was lost in his thoughts and felt extremely embarrassed. His face was also hot. He scratched his head as he followed behind the woman. The short-haired woman walked up to Lelaine and gave her a slight smile. She looked at Lelaine's face carefully and nodded. Then she took a business card out of her pocket, handed it to Lelaine and said,
Hello, my name is Christine Diaz. This is my card.
Jeff thought about what he had said to this woman earlier and felt weak and embarrassed. He scratched his head. Lelaine was slightly taken aback. She had never expected her to come over to talk with her. Lelaine politely took the business card and read it. It said, Christine Diaz, professional manager of the Brightness Star Music Company.
I was attracted to you when I first saw you. You look great. We're putting together a girl group, like Rocket Girl. I hope you can join our company.
Christine said with a smile.
Me?
Lelaine pointed at herself. Christine was inviting her to become a celebrity. It all felt unreal to her. She didn't know what to say.
Is that card of yours for real?
Jeff pulled Lelaine behind him. He was afraid that she was being tricked. Christine glared at him. Looking at Christine's eyes, Jeff felt a little guilty. After all, he had been a bit selfish when he had said those words to her earlier.
If you don't believe me, you can search online.
Christine said. Since she had charged over so abruptly, it was normal for him to be so suspicious. She could also tell that Jeff was Lelane's boyfriend. Jeff and Lelane searched online, and they did find some information about the Brightness Star Music Company. Christine was indeed a manager.
I'm sorry I offended you earlier,
Lelane apologized to Christine on behalf of Jeff.
but I don't know anything. I might not be able to join your group.
Lelane yearned to accept, but she was just a small-town kid who didn't know anything about talent.
Don't worry, you're totally up to standard. You know about Rocket Girl, right? I think you'll have the potential to become like their most popular singer. You can rest assured that we'll train you.
Christine said with a smile.
Are you ready to try? This is a rare opportunity. If you miss it, you might regret it for the rest of your life.
She added, the more that she looked at Lelane, the more that she wanted her to join the company. Lelane felt conflicted. She didn't know what she was afraid of, so she just tugged at the corner of her shirt and hesitated over what decision to make.
Let's give it a go.
Jeff said. He had decided on Lelane's behalf. Seeing her expression, he knew that she wanted to try it out. She trembled slightly and looked at him.
Do you want to go? I need you to tell me in person.
Christine asked Lelane. Lelane looked into Christine's eyes and finally nodded. August 2023. Top super thanks purchasers. Thank you so much.